Hi everyone, a warm welcome to IMS Get Set Law. We bring you another important video for preparation of quantitative techniques section in these last 50 days to CLAT 2025. So in today's video, we are going to discuss some tips which will be helpful for you to prepare for quantitative techniques section for CLAT 2025. Now, it has been observed that many CLAT aspirants tend to neglect the subject quantitative techniques because of either the fear of maths or some of them do not have maths as their background. So, because of this, they ignore the section quantitative techniques and do not attempt any questions. But let me assure you that if you just have some basic knowledge of maths, some basic knowledge of calculations, you can easily attempt this section and score 8 to 10 marks out of 12 marks very easily. And for that, what all things we need to follow in these last 50 days, that's what we are going to discuss today. So before we go to tips, let's observe a pattern of last few years CLAT, that what all things have been asked in past 4 years of actual CLAT papers. So if we observe that in CLAT 2021, there were all the 3 sets based on topic percentage. So there were 15 questions in this year in quantitative techniques section. 15 questions in 3 sets. Means each set was having 5 questions. And all these sets were based on the topic percentage. So obviously this topic is of immense importance for us. If we look at next year, CLAT 2022, then we can see that there was one set of 5 questions on percentage and one set of 5 questions on profit and loss. And there was one set on combination of concepts of percentage and ratio. So again, you can see the weightage of percentage is very high. And you can see that there is combination of topics also used in these sets. Like one set was on the concepts of percentage plus ratio. So a student should be well versed with using the combined concepts of multiple topics like percentage and ratio, percentage and profit loss. These concepts we should be able to use together. So that's why whatever basic topics that we are going to discuss, a student should be able to solve combination questions of these topics also. If we look at next year, CLAT 2023, then there was one set of 5 questions on percentage plus profit and loss. So again, combination of these two topics, percentage and profit loss. And one set of 5 questions was on percentage, one set of 5 questions was on averages. So concept of percentages were used again and concept of averages were also tested in one of the sets of 5 questions. In CLAT 2024, there was one set of 6 questions on combination of percentage and ratio and one set of 6 questions on percentage. So all these years, if you see, in CLAT 2021, we had 15 questions, 3 sets. Same way, CLAT 2022 also we had 15 questions and 3 sets. CLAT 2023 also 15 questions, 3 sets. And CLAT 2024, we had 12 questions on QT and there were only 2 sets. So this year also most likely there will be 2 sets and we are expecting number of questions anywhere between 10 to 14 questions. So we should be well versed with this. 10 to 14 questions will be there in QT and we should target to get at least 8 marks in this section. If our basic maths is good, we can easily achieve that. Now, if you observe that percentage is a common topic in all these years, so obviously that topic becomes the most important topic for CLAT. So apart from that, you can also observe in every set, even though the set is based on percentage, but whatever 5-6 questions are there on that set, those questions test the concepts of various topics like average, ratio, profit, loss. So it does not mean that one set of percentage is there. It does not mean all the questions will be based on percentage only. That's why a student should be well versed with the concepts of ratio, averages, profit, loss, etc. Next point. So what are the important topics that we have observed in these last 4 years? One is percentage. Next is ratio. Third one is averages. And fourth one is profit and loss. So if there is a student who has not yet focused too much on quantitative techniques, so if that student focuses only on these 4 topics, still he or she will be able to achieve a good score in QT and will be easily managing to get whatever our target of 8 to 10 marks is there. So what are the concepts that we will be learning in percentage? So the most important concept is basic percentage calculation. Everyone must be practicing these questions, basic percentage calculation. Then also practice some word problems on percentage. Practice some word problems on percentage and concepts of percentage increase, percentage decrease, and successive percentage change. These concepts are also very important. So these concepts a student should be preparing for the topic percentage. Next, in ratio, a student should prepare for concept of parts of ratio. So method of parts. A student should be preparing for this, and also a student should be preparing for how to combine the different given ratios, how to combine the ratios. This is also an important concept a student should be preparing for. Now, averages. In averages, a student should be knowing the basic formula of average is equal to sum of observations upon number of observations. And mostly all the questions revolve around this formula only. Any 2 out of these 3 will be given to you, and the third one you have to find out. For example, sum will be given and number will be given, then you will be asked to find out average. If average and number is given, you will be asked to find out sum. These sets of questions mostly will be there in averages, and some basic applications of averages in various scenarios. These questions a student should be preparing in averages. Profit and loss. In profit and loss, a student should be preparing for concepts of cost price, selling price, mark price. Then basic formulae of how to calculate profit, loss, markup, and discount. So students should know basic formula to calculate these 4. And also how to find out percentage profit, percentage loss, percentage markup, and percentage discount. So these are the things a student should be focusing on in the topic of profit and loss. Next important point is, what is the weightage of these topics that we have observed in these last 4 years? So we have observed that 70 to 80% of the questions are based on the topic of percentage. 20 to 30% of the questions are based on the topic of ratio. Around 10% of the questions are based on averages. And around 10% of the questions are based on profit and loss. Even though addition of these percentages is going beyond 100, because there is combination of concepts, combination of percentage and ratio, combination of averages, profit loss with other topics. That's why the percentage is having such a high percentage, because many questions of percentages are combined with concepts of ratio, average, profit loss, etc. So that's why this percentage looks so higher. What should be the daily schedule of a student preparing for quantitative techniques section in these last 50 days? So daily a student has to solve one set every day. So every day, at least one set we should solve. And on the topics that we discuss, percentage, ratio, average, profit, loss, any topic one can choose and solve one set every day. If a student is really good at maths, then he can also choose to solve one set or two sets every alternate day, because other sections are also having higher weightage, QT is having little lesser weightage. So if you're already scoring well in QT section in mocks, then you can spend little lesser time and focus on this subject on alternate days. Every question should be solved at least twice. Now, why do I say that? Because let's say there is a question and you are solving it with method A. If you are solving it with method A, which is a normal, lengthy or traditional method, so in that lengthy or traditional method, you will get the fundamental understanding of that particular problem. But once that problem is solved and you have understood the concept, you have understood what fundamentals are used in that question, then you can use some innovative method. You can work on some innovative methods, which we also called as shortcut, right? So these innovative methods or shortcuts can be used when you're solving that particular question second time. So that's why every question should be solved at least twice or thrice. So minimum, I would say twice, because one with normal method, the other one you try to innovate wherever possible. It is not possible to solve every question with some shortcut or innovation, but wherever possible, you try to do that. And also when you're solving a question second time, then you should also try to do maximum calculations orally. So mind calculations, oral calculations are very, very helpful to save your time and solve that particular question quickly. So that's why calculation practice is also of immense importance when you are solving one set every day. Along with that, also remember some practice for calculation also you must be doing every day. Next important point is learn to categorize the questions as per difficulty level. So when you are solving the questions, you should categorize them in 3 difficulty levels: easy, moderate, or difficult. So you should know whether the question that you have solved is easy for you, was it of moderate difficulty level for you, or was it really difficult. If it was really difficult and it was too time consuming or the concept was too difficult, then such type of questions we should not be attempting in the actual exam. Even in your mocks, you should not be attempting such questions. Which questions we should be attempting? We should be attempting only easy questions or moderate questions. Remember, a good batsman never hits each and every ball. He leaves good deliveries, means if there are difficult deliveries, he will leave it. If you watch test matches, a batsman would leave difficult deliveries and he will hit the ball which is in his good area, the area where he has practiced a lot. So easy to moderate questions are those questions which you have practiced. So even in exams, you would see that around 15 to 20% of the questions will be there which will try to trap you. How will they trap you? They will take away your time of other questions. They will make you confused. So you will start feeling down. Your confidence will be shaken because of these questions. So do not get trapped with such questions. So it is very important while you are practicing to categorize the questions in these difficulty levels and understand which question should be attempted and which question should not be attempted. It's a very, very important skill to get a good score in any section. And last but not the least, important point is mock solving and analysis. So you should solve at least 2 mocks per week now. In these last 50 days, we should solve at least 2 mocks every week, right? If you are solving more than that, it's okay. As per your capacity, you can do that. So one mock you can solve on, let's say, Monday. If you're solving a mock on Monday, then you can solve another mock on keeping 3 days gap. So you can solve maybe on Friday. So this way you can split these 2 mocks. If a student is aiming for 3 mocks every day, then you can solve it on alternate days. So do it as per your capacity. Do not overburden yourself. Just make sure as per your capacity you can choose the number of mocks. But it is very important to solve mocks in these last 50 days. Once the mocks are solved, you should analyze them. Analyze them for understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Now, once you understand your strengths, so strength areas are the ones which you should be solving in the exams first. And weakness areas, you should be trying to ignore or work over it if possible in these last 50 days. So weakness areas should not be given too much of importance. We should capitalize on our strengths and focus more on these areas only. Because if the questions on strength areas you solve first, it will build your confidence in the exam. That's why we should focus more and more on our strengths, and this you will understand only after analyzing all the mocks. So once you analyze the mock, you will understand that whenever there is a question on percentage, I'm able to solve it very quickly. Whenever there is a question on ratio, I'm able to solve it very quickly. It means these are your strength areas. But if you're observing that whenever there is a question on average, I'm getting stuck over there, it is taking too much time, or I'm getting confused, not able to solve it, it means it is your weakness. So in the exam, you should not try to attempt such questions at initial levels. You should always focus on your strength and try to build your repo in the exam. Now, after analyzing the mocks, whenever we understand there are some strength areas and weakness areas, wherever possible, that weakness areas can be worked upon and we can be at a good level in these weakness areas. For that, it is very important to revise those concepts. And also in strength areas, if you find that I could have worked with some better methods, I could have worked with some shortcuts, some innovative methods, then that will also help. So that's why revising these concepts once you have analyzed the mocks is very important. So to summarize this, in last 50 days, we have observed we should focus on important topics. Then we observed that mocks are very important. And analysis of mocks is also very important. So every day we'll be solving one set. Every week we'll be solving 2 mocks and analyze them. Revise the concepts after mocks. Analyze the mocks to understand your strengths and weakness. And in last 50 days, we should be focusing only on the important topics of CLAT. It does not mean that you ignore all other topics. You solve the questions of other topics, but in little lesser number. More emphasis should be given on the 4 topics that we have discussed and work on them to get the best in those topics. So that's it from my side. Keep watching this important channel of IMS Get Set Law for more and more important videos and more educational purposes. So thank you everyone. See you again.